We're back on the record at 10:29.
Okay, Commissioner Comander.
Yes.
I've handed you Exhibit 168. You'll see that it's a June 26th, 2008 email. You'll see that it's written by Adrian D. Lovell, who is Dave Lovell. Do you know Mr. Lovell?
Know him. I think I have met him. There's a difference.
You'll see that he's identified as working for Olson and Associates on the email.
Yes, sir.
All right, you'll see that the first couple of sentences, if you would silently read those to yourself, and then I'll ask you a question.
This is dated 2008. Okay.
Look at 620.
I've read the first paragraph. You want me to read the whole lot?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
All right, this paragraph identifies that Greg Graham made a presentation to you regarding the stormwater sufficiency in Driftwood, correct?
That was the, I think, PowerPoint I told you about that they came to my office and showed me. Yes.
Right. Right.
I couldn't remember who was with him, but. Yeah.
Right. Now, if you look at the bottom of the document, Ms. Wade, may I use that one?
You don't have another copy?
You can look at that one. You can look at the original. It'll
Okay.
be easy for us to see this one. The bottom paragraph is bracketed and has a highlighted portion. Take a moment and read that silently to yourself, and then let me know when you're done.
Sound like we're in church. Silent Tuesday. All right.
Okay. You'll notice that in that paragraph, Mr. Lovell describes a couple of what he calls disclosure issues. You see that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. And then he goes on to say, I would much prefer that these not be topics for discussion at the hearing. Okay. Primarily the ACE permit, because someone may start digging into that. You see that?
Yes.
Right. Are you familiar that ACE stands for the Army Corps of Engineers frequently?
No, I hate acronyms.
Right.
You know.
The application that I showed you was, that Mr. Graham signed, was for an Army Corps of Engineers permit
All right.
for the project. You see
Okay.
that? I remember that. Now, you said earlier that it wouldn't concern you that Mr. Graham had participated in the design and procurement of permits for this project that are materially different than what was built out there. Do you remember that?
Object to the form.
Do I answer him? Okay. Ask me again.
Sure. All right, I asked you whether it was a concern of yours that Mr. Graham became the county engineer who was responsible for evaluating whether the Driftwood stormwater systems were functioning appropriately and were lawful when he had participated as an engineer in the design and the procurement of the permits. I believe you said that it would not concern you.
Same objection.
Because he was working for the county, and then to me, I believe I said, he may have been working for Olson at one point or Interwest, now he's working for the county, so he would,
All right.
it would not concern, I'm sorry, I
Right.
don't know quite how to answer your question.
Okay, even if it wouldn't concern you because of the change.
If you're asking me, there again, can we cut to the chase? If you're asking me, did I think he would be dishonest and break the law and risk losing his PE license? I don't know him that well, never broken bread with him, never been to his home, don't know him personally, just know him as an employee. He doesn't strike me as the kind of person that would do that.
Okay.
But I don't know him personally.
Got it. All right. Nevertheless, if he was operating in a role that was a conflict of interest, it may be a circumstance that would threaten his professional engineering license. Correct?
If you say so.
All right. Now, what about if one of the issues in this lawsuit is, and we'll look at the documents from the county's own evaluations of cost of the stormwater systems in Driftwood, but if Mr. Graham's work could cost the county millions of dollars because he failed to reveal his role in the design of the document of the project, would that concern you given his prior employment with Interwest?
And you said if,
Sure.
then yes.
All right. Do you know that meaning the addressing the stormwater in Driftwood so that it operates sufficiently not to cause nuisances in the neighborhood is an issue in this lawsuit?
Yes.
Right? And do you know that by the county's own estimates, as we will see over the years, that the county estimates that it will cost several $1,000,000 in order to put in a sufficient pipe system that will eliminate standing water in yards?
I don't have any knowledge that that is the county thinks that's the only way that we can accomplish, this,
Fair enough. But you know that's an issue in this lawsuit.
if that's what you're telling me.
Okay. And the county's liability on that issue turns in large measure on Greg Graham's opinions in this case.
Check to the form.
You know that.
No, I don't.
All right. A couple of months ago, the county received a report from a Dr. Harvey Harper concerning the stormwater standard in Driftwood. Do you remember seeing that document?
I have seen the document.
All right. We will look at it later, but do you generally remember the conclusions of Dr. Harper?
I have not read the document in its entirety. I understand we're waiting for some more documents from Dr. Harper that he hasn't finished with his report. And once I, get all the information from Dr. Harper, then I will, and I am only assuming, because remember, I am one of 5. If I can't count to 3, then I can't get anything done. But I am assuming that once we have all of the information in front of us, that we're going to set a workshop and discuss all of this. So I will put off reading the entire document so I can read it at one time and it be fresh in my memory.
Do you, have you come to understand, nevertheless, that one of the conclusions of the report is that Dr. Harper concludes that the stormwater standard in Sandestin and thereby in Driftwood is significantly more stringent than Mr. Graham's opinion of it?
Same.
I believe that's what Mr. Osborne there again told us at the last meeting we had, that he was stating that. Now, I haven't read the document, so I don't know that that's correct.
Okay, I take it you haven't done any effort to corroborate or investigate whether or not Mr. Osborne's characterization of Dr. Harper's report is accurate or not?
When I get all three, as I've said, when I get all of the, I understand there are two more to come, you know. Then when I get all three, I will digest all three of them at the same time.
All right, you mentioned when the PowerPoint presentation that Mr. Graham presented to you when we were looking at the email a moment ago. In the course of presenting that PowerPoint to you, did Mr. Graham tell you that when he had performed his modeling exercise, that he had assumed, for purposes of his modeling, that the stormwater table in Driftwood was 48 inches in depth? Did he tell you that?
Do you see the date on this document? It's 2008. It is now 2016. Even if I, you know, had the best memory in the world, I cannot possibly tell you what somebody told me in 2008.
Right.
Although I think maybe my daughter told me she was going to have a baby, but other than that, I can't remember.
All right. Do you...
And about any subject, whether it's Driftwood or Pine Shores or Timbuktu.
Do you...
No, I can't remember.
Okay. Have you come to learn that there's engineers involved in this case who have given the opinion based on geotechnical reports, several of them that have extended over a number of years, that the water table in Driftwood is actually 10 to 12 inches as opposed to 48 inches?
Check to the form. Are you talking about in this case, Sean, in this litigation? Or in
Sure,
this
yes.
concern? Okay.
Okay. Would you tell me what he just said?
I'm going to ask him to repeat it.
Yeah, okay.
Jennifer, thank you.
Well, if you don't remember what you said, how am I supposed to remember?
Have you come to learn that there's engineers involved in this case who have given the opinion based on geotechnical reports, several of them, that have extended over a number of years, that the water table in Driftwood is actually 10 to 12 inches as opposed to 48 inches?
I have no personal knowledge. There have been more engineers in this case than cats in a sandbox.
Okay. When you joined the commission in 2006.
I did.
And that was your first elected office, is that correct?
Correct.
And well, when you joined the commission, the other commissioners were Commissioner Larry Jones, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes. I'm sorry. Yes.
Commissioner Kenneth Pridgeon,
Correct.
Commissioner Cindy Meadows,
Correct.
and Commissioner Scott Brannon.
Correct.
When you joined the commission, did you have any reason to doubt the ability of any of those commissioners?
Check to the form.
You mean mentally or physically?
Both.
No, I did not.
Okay. Or did you have any reservations about the judgment of any of your other commissioners?
Check to the form.
Judgment? That covers a lot of ground. I would say no.
Now, do you know a Todd Schweitzer?
I've heard the name. Now, whether or not I've met him, I don't know, but I have heard the name somewhere. You would have to remind me who he is or who he works with, or.
In what, best you can recall, in what capacity?
I just know I've heard the name, you know. could be just, I've heard Dr. Schweitzer.
Should be in that
Anyway,
one.
I've heard the name.
All right, I'm going to show you Exhibit 595.
Okay.
There's some photos, 3 of them. Do you recognize that those photos are from Driftwood Estates?
Can
Can we read the date in, please?
April the 18th, 2005. I see here a couple of houses with water standing in their yards, and here I could not tell you whether this was Driftwood or whether it was Pine Shores. If you tell me it's Driftwood, I will take your word for it.
Now, I'm going to show you what's marked as Exhibit 614. It's November 18th, 2006.
Okay.
You would have just become a commissioner at that time?
I would have to look at the calendar. The elections are held on the second Tuesday in November, I believe, and then the commission takes office 2 weeks later. So I probably wasn't yet, but maybe the weekend, I don't know.
Okay.
If not, I was close to it.
Okay, if you would read, please, the title of the article.
Attorney suppresses Driftwood access discussion at county meeting.
Right.
You mean to read the bottom you have highlighted? David Holman.
I'll show you the relevant portion. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. I bracketed one of 2 items. If you'll look at the first of those. Okay. All right, you see that it says earlier in the meeting, the BCC, which is the board, correct, approved
Yes.
to advertise for proposals to solve a separate Driftwood issue, poor drainage. You see that?
I see that.
In your experience, if the board doesn't believe that there's any legitimacy to a problem, would they even bother to put out for proposals?
Object to the form.
I can only speak for me. I can't speak, especially if I wasn't on the board at that time. And if I had just taken office, I probably was as green as a gourd. But I assume now if we put out for proposals, you know, we're looking for somebody to come back that might help solve the problem, or if there was a problem, you know, or help us with whatever we're looking into.
All right, if you look at the bottom last paragraph,
Last month, Commissioner Meadows said, while the board has made no decisions on funding as of yet, we do recognize the drainage a serious issue, and we're not going to let it go.
all right.
Okay. This was her district at that time.
Do you have any reason to believe, knowing what you know now in 2016, over the past decade, whether or not the description of the drainage in Driftwood this time by Commissioner Meadows, as quoted, was accurate or not?
Object to the form. Are you asking the accuracy of this news report?
No,
No.
I said the accuracy of what Commissioner Meadows described as reported here.
I don't know. So I don't quite know how to answer it, so I'll say I don't know.
So you don't know whether or not you think it was a correct description or not?
No,
Fair
I
to
don't.
say?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I say if I was on the board then, I'd been on the board a week or less than. That was probably the first day I took office.
But you remember the question was in
No,
light of
yeah.
what you've
Yeah.
not learned over the last 10 years. Okay. So in light of that, you don't have an opinion as to whether it was accurate or not
Check the form.
I don't have an opinion.
Okay. I need these. I'm going to go through these. Okay, I'm going to show you Exhibit 239, which is an email string. You'll see it's November 14th, 2006.
One's November 13th.
Okay, it's a string from November 2006.
Okay, is this a 6 or an 8?
For purposes of my question, that what's
It's
important
6,
is
okay.
the line. Okay.
This,
The highlighted portion, if you would read it, please, just the first sentence.
I've been working with David Hallman, Jim Barth, Tom Pelham, and Keith, I don't know what his name is, on this matter for quite some time. We offered to intervene with the SOA as lead to support the county in defending the suit. Keith was recently working to set up another management with all our council, or meeting, should be meeting.
All right,
Okay,
now,
who was this from? Judith Williams.
do you know her?
Have no idea who she is.
Have you had any interaction in the course of your time on a Board of County Commissioner meeting with representatives of IntraWest?
I'm sure I probably did. How long has IntraWest been out of the picture here?
All right.
I don't
They
know.
They sold to Mr. Becknell in 2010. But,
Okay,
all right,
so at
some
some
of the-
point I probably did, yes.
Some of the names listed there, one of the names is David Hallman. You see that?
Yes.
All right. And you saw from the, well, strike that. You recall that David Hallman was the county attorney when you first took the board.
Was he? Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Now, one of the other names that's listed there is Tom Pelham. Do you know who Mr. Pelham is?
I have heard the name. I may have met him. I don't know. If I did, it would have been only, hello, how are you? You know, it's like, I met these people in this room today, you know. I do not remember sitting down with him, having a lengthy conversation of any kind.
All right. Now, at this time, did you know, well, Mr. Pelham was hired by the county during this time period, 2006 and 2007, to represent the county on the sand renourishment case. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that he was hired, but if you tell me he was, then all right.
Did you know at the time that the board had hired Mr. Pelham? Mr. Pelham was also simultaneously representing IntraWest.
I can't say for sure, but I would say no.
All right. So,
Unless that man came to my office and disclosed that to me, how would I know?
well,
I mean, you know.
there are other documents that indicate
Okay.
that, which the conflict waiver we'll look at would have had to have been approved by the board.
Okay.
Do you have any memory of approving the conflict waiver?
I have no memory
Check
of
to the
that.
form.
All right. All right, I'm going to hand you Exhibit 615. It's an op-ed article. You'll notice the date of it
She's got it.
is also November 18th, 2006, which is the same time period that we've just been looking at.
Okay. November 18th, 2006, yes. And you want that one sentence, the only road in or out floods after heavy rains.
Okay.
Who's the author?
Now,
Looks like a letter to the editor. Yeah.
It's the editorial. It's the editor, whoever that is.
okay. The bracketed, I'm sorry. If you would read the first sentence that's bracketed, and it's the very first sentence of the article.
The residents of Driftwood Estates have been trying to get a straight answer from the Board of County Commissioners for more than 18 months. It finally took a court order to get the information they were seeking in regards to a 1988 abandonment. And yet they still can't make the board accountable for or even clarify or explain its actions.
Okay. Now, if you look further down, all right, okay. It's fair to say, reading from that description, that that is an editorial that begins, that's critical of the actions of the Board of County Commissioners.
That's a shock. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if you look further down in the bracketed area, the second bracketed area, if you'd read that, please.
Why don't you read this stuff instead of me read it?
If I had my document, I would.
I'll share with Commissioner.
My throat's getting sore.
Or we can make a copy for me, whichever one you want.
I'll start at the very bottom. Well,
I'm ready.
actually, in October 2005, the county entered an agreement with the developer, Rick Olson, as a managing member for North Tip Development for $60,000 contribution to improvements to drainage and roadways. You see that?
Yes.
All right. Now, have you since learned that fact that the county settled with Mr. Olson as the developer for the entire, concerning all of his activities for the entire neighborhood for $60,000?
Object to the form.
I think you have said that earlier in this meeting.
All right. But did you know that before you walked in here today?
I cannot recall.
Now, it goes on to say, currently the estimated cost for keeping driftwood from washing away in a hard rain is $1.5 million for the first phase. The total cost could be 3 or 4, even 4 times that amount, according to the engineering firm that was hired by the county to develop a drainage plan for the area. You see that?
I see that.
All right. Do you think it was a wise decision of the board to approve a $60,000 settlement with the developer of Driftwood, and when it was going to cost the county and leave the county with the cost of several $1 million to address the drainage problem?
Object to the form. I think you're getting into the decisions that the board made, and we haven't even established that she was acting as a member of the board at the time that decision was made, if there's such a vote.
If this 2005, I was not, and I certainly will not. I don't think have the right or whatever to question other members of that board. I wasn't sitting there then. I can't sit in any. It's like the Indian in the moccasins. I'm not going to judge anybody for what they've done.
All right, if you look
or
further,
try to speculate.
All right, if you look further down, well, let me ask it this way: has it ever come to your attention as to ask the question, of staff, why did we do this? Why did the county settle for such a small amount of money and take on the responsibility for a multi-million-dollar drainage project?
Object to the form.
If I didn't know it, I couldn't have asked the question, and I just said I wasn't, to the best of my knowledge, knew anything about the $60,000. So if I didn't know it, I couldn't ask the question, could I?
Is it no, I'm not talking about at the time of the vote. I'm talking about in the last decade that you've come onto the board, right? Now, since coming onto the board, when you come onto the board, you inherit the actions of
Yes.
the previous board, correct?
Yes.
Correct. And at times, you make inquiry as to why the board made a decision. You make inquiry of the staff that preceded your time on the board, correct?
Sometimes.
All right. In this case, the op-ed is identifying information, albeit before you came on the board, that's critical of the board that you then sit on or are about to take a seat on, correct?
Yes.
All right. Is it your practice to read the newspapers and industry in which you worked in, especially for articles that are comment on actions of the board.
Check to the form.
First of all, I never worked for a newspaper. Secondly, unless I was the one doing reporting, I can't comment on any reporter's validity or whether they got the facts right or anything else. That's, and I don't read the newspaper that much.
All right, if you look at the second column towards the bottom, the highlighted area begins, the only road in or out floods after heavy rains.
Yes, I see that.
See that, right? So this is a second time that's been reported in the newspaper that we've looked at that in fact the road floods, actually more than twice, correct?
That we've looked at today?
Yes, that we've looked at. We've actually,
Yeah, okay.
all right.
We've seen 2 newspaper articles, I think.
Right. Now, do you automatically discount whether a newspaper article is inaccurate simply because it's in the news?
Check to the form.
If it says something good about me, I believe them, but
What about if it says something critical of the county? Is your impulse to not believe it or to investigate it?
Check to the form.
if it says something bad about the county, most of the time and we're talking about a newspaper article, okay, let's be clear. I don't know whether I believe it or not, you know. I'd want to know where they got the information, how they got it, who supplied it to them, you know. I would have a number of questions, and I don't always ask those questions because I anticipated that was your next question.
I'm going to show you Exhibit 80.
Okay. Oh Lord, that's small.
And Exhibit 80, if you would.
Okay. This is Pat Blackshaw.
Got it right.
You don't use the 636, why is that here?
I haven't used it yet.
I've got to change my glasses, honey. That type's too small. There we go. Activities. And this is from the pocket. Okay.
This email, it was marked yesterday. It's Don Hayes' email. You'll see it. It's in 277, which is typically in chronological order.
Let me read the whole letter.
We're just going to concentrate on the areas that I have highlighted and bracketed.
Okay, we'll start with
Right. You see that it's a letter from the Department of Community Affairs to the county board chairman at the time. Remind me who that was.
it's just addressed to Pat Blackshaw.
I see. Okay. Now, you know that the Department of Community Affairs has state regulatory oversight over developments of regional impact.
Yes.
And you know that Sandestin is a development of regional impact.
I believe it was the first in the state. I have been told that.
And you know that Driftwood is part of the Sandestin development of regional impact.
Yes, I do.
Now, this letter identifies basically 3 issues of concern for the DCA, correct?
Well, I see first. I haven't gotten to the second page yet, but I see
right.
second.
All right, let's take
I see third.
the first issue that the DCA identifies. If you'll look down the 4th line, it should have an arrow near it. It says the project is required, do you see that?
Yes.
To provide a stormwater treatment to retain the runoff from the 3-year 24-hour event, 6.7 inches of rainfall. You see that?
Yes.
Right. Do you recall that that has been a contention of the folks from Driftwood, including Mr. Osborne, for a number of years, at least since 2007?
That's what I understand.
Right. And that standard, the failure to design a system, a stormwater system, and build a stormwater system in Driftwood to that level of standard renders the stormwater system in Driftwood non-compliant with the law.
Check to the form.
What was your question?
Can you read it back,
Honey, I'm
please?
sorry, you do ramble on.
And that standard, the failure to design a system, a stormwater system, and build a stormwater system in Driftwood to that level of standard renders the stormwater system in Driftwood non-compliant with the law.
I can only say that I've heard from various engineers, county, whatever, and some say we meet the standard and some say we don't, so I really don't know how to answer your questions. I've heard 100-year flood, 5-year flood, whatever, and I'm not sure that I am technically savvy enough to understand it all.
I understand that, and you rely on it, and
You
have
know.
heard the opinions of engineers.
Yeah.
All right. Which engineers have told you that the county, that the Driftwood development satisfies the lawful requirements as to stormwater retention?
County engineers
Okay.
that work for the county, various county engineers.
All right. Who have those been? Greg Graham?
I think Greg was probably one of them.
Are there any others?
Ryan, maybe Ryan Douglas.
Okay.
You know?
Do you remember that specifically,
No,
Mr.
I don't.
Douglas?
I don't specifically remember.
Now, you said whether we have met the appropriate standard. You remember saying that just a moment ago.
I probably did.
Okay. Now, by the we, did you mean the county?
Yes.
But do you know that at this time period, right, that this stormwater system that was put in by people other than the county, and it was the developer's responsibility to comply with the law,
I believe I have been told that, yes.
right? And that one of the issues that was brought to the board's attention repeatedly, and we saw it in the newspaper article, is why did not the county seek to hold the developers responsible for their stormwater system that didn't comply with the law? You
Check
remember,
to the form.
remember that as an issue?
And when you say the county, I'm assuming that you mean the Board of County Commissioners, of which there are 5. I cannot speak to that. I know that there's been a lot of back and forth, and there's been lawsuits and that sort of thing. So right now, off the top of I can't tell you, maybe we haven't done something because we're in a lawsuit. I don't know.
All right.
I can't tell you I know that the county's been working. You want to say it out loud, Mr. Osborne, so I can hear you? Okay.
Communication between me and him.
Okay.
Now, so the answer is you don't know
Yeah,
what the
I'll say I
county
don't
has
know.
done. All right. Now, you said a moment ago that you had read Dr. Harper's report that had been recently published.
No, I
Object
said
to
I
the
had
form.
read Dr. Harper's report.
Apologize. Okay.
Yeah, I'm waiting. Remember, there are supposed to be 3 parts. He's given us, I guess, his first part. We're waiting on the other 2.
Right.
And at that time, I will read them all.
What do you understand the second and third parts to be? The
I really
subject
don't
matters?
know. I don't know. I'm sorry, honey, I didn't mean to. I really don't know what all they entail.
All right. Well, do you know what the first part entails?
I haven't read it. I don't know yet.
All right. I mean, the subject
No, I
matter
don't.
of the question that it
Well,
answers.
it's about driftwood, but other than that, I can't tell you.
Now, you're,
No, I have not read it yet.
the county's involved in a multi-million-dollar lawsuit that concerns driftwood, correct? For which you are here today, correct?
I'm assuming that's why I'm here.
All right. Now, then, the county commissioned and paid Dr. Harper $63,000 to perform his work to evaluate the stormwater system in Driftwood, correct?
We will pay his bill, yes, because we hired him.
All right. Now, fair to say that the county hired him because it desired and wanted to know his answer concerning the stormwater system in Driftwood.
We wanted another opinion on the problems, if any, that are there.
Now, wouldn't that be important information for you to read in order to understand why the issues in this lawsuit and the county's potential liability?
And I plan on doing that so that I can read it now and remember half of it, or I can get all of the documents, sit down and read them and digest them, and then if we're going to have a workshop, which I think we are, then I will be ready at that time to participate in that workshop.
Okay.
If I had known you wanted me to read it today so I could answer questions, I would have read it for you.
Do you recall that it has been delivered to you more than once since its publication in November?
I don't, off the top of my head, I don't recall having a copy myself, but maybe we do. Maybe, I'm sorry. You know.
Right, so you don't
It could
remember
be on my desk somewhere.
that in fact it has been sent to your email?
I am not sure it has been sent to me. I cannot
All right.
100% say it has been delivered to me yet.
All right. But you wouldn't deny if someone else said they did?
Yeah, I wouldn't
Okay.
deny it. Yeah, no.
Right. So you see in 2007, and we're going to trace this through,
Okay.
and the timeline matters, that's why I'm pointing it out to you, that the DCA has identified to the county what the applicable stormwater standard is for Sandestin. You see that,
And I'm assuming that's in their opinion, or,
correct?
okay, in their
Right.
opinion, okay.
Well, but you acknowledge that the Department of Community Affairs has oversight and regulatory authority
Yes.
concerning DRIs,
Yes,
correct? And you wouldn't lightly disregard the opinion of the Department of Community Affairs on issues concerning DRIs, would you?
Check to the form.
I try not to lightly disrespect anything.
I 616. Okay. I'm gonna take these away
Okay.
just so I don't get jumbled. I'm going to hand you Exhibit 616, which is a newspaper article from June 9, 2007. You can read the first page and just stop there if you will, please.
Okay.
Okay. The article refers to a letter that the county received from the Department of Community Affairs regarding this existing stormwater management plan. You see
Okay.
that?
Mm-hmm.
And if you'll turn over to the second page, you'll see the highlighted portion. The article states, quote, "This type of letter," said John Peck, DCA spokesperson, "is not a common occurrence. We are serious in our request for information." You see that?
Yes, I do.
Right. Even at the time as a board member, if you hadn't read this article, you would have regarded the letter, the DCA's inquiry, as a serious one.
Yes.
Right. Do you recall taking any action to direct the staff on how it would proceed in light of the letter?
No, sir, I do not.
Did you specifically get a response from the staff concerning the issues set forth in the DCA's letter?
I do not recall.
If you'll turn over to the third page, please. The third column we'll look at once you read the highlighted portion.
Oh, you mean to read the whole? Okay.
No,
Just a
ma'am,
second.
just the highlighted portion in the third column.
No, it's incorrect right there.
All right.
Okay.
It states in part, "We know the residents have issues with drainage," said Brandon. Brandon said Thursday, "and we are committed to find a solution and get them some relief." You see that?
I see that.
Right. Now, at that time period in 2007, did you recognize, I'm sorry, yes, 2007, that the stormwater issues in Driftwood needed a solution by the county?
I will say needed a solution. Maybe it might have, a group of people working together to solve it. I don't know, but I will say needed some kind of resolution. I probably would use that word.
What's the distinction to you in that context?
Well, solution, you find an answer. A resolution is you finally come to an end one way or the other, right or wrong to me. You find a resolution to the issue so that it just doesn't go on and on.
Okay.
I'd have to look at my Funk and Wagnall, but I think I'm right.
All right, so here we sit in 2016, 9 years after the time period of the letter. In your view, has any solution occurred or been rendered by the county?
I think there has been some work out in Driftwood, if that's what you're asking, to try to help with some of the issues. Edmund's outfall, for example,
Right. Do you have an opinion as to the sufficiency of the work done by the county to address the drainage problems that are described in these news articles?
I know that opening Edmund's outfall helped a lot.
Do you know whether or not the problems in Driftwood have been resolved as a result of the Edmonds outfall being opened?
Object to the form.
I know that helped
Right. Now,
with heavy rain, storm coming. That was in 2010.
right. You believe that the Edmonds outfall was first opened in 2010?
I know it was.
All right. Well, do you know whether it was, quote, opened before 2010?
Since I came on the board, that's all It was, to my knowledge, not opened before 2010.
Okay. Now, did you know that the engineer of record for the stormwater system in the interior drainage said that his stormwater system did not rely at all and did not utilize the Edmonds outfall
No.
And so the function of the Edmonds outfall would have no bearing on the function of his stormwater system.
Okay,
All right.
you say so?
Now, if the problems in Driftwood have persisted even after the Edmonds outfall has been opened, would you consider the issue resolved?
Object to the form.
The issue, again, I'm not quite sure how to answer that. I'll say possibly not.
Okay, if you look
Is that-
down at the article, exhibit 616, the bottom of the third column, the highlighted portion, you'll see
Yeah, read all that.
it states, Brannon also agrees that what the residents were told was going to happen and what actually was done were different. You see that?
I see that's what Mr. Brannon said, yes,
All
sir.
right. Now, do you have any reason to believe that he was being inaccurate at the time he's quoted as saying that?
Probably not.
You have confidence in his judgment, and did you while you were a board member?
Object to the form.
In his judgment in all matters and issues, or just
Just generally.
Driftwood? Just generally? For the most part.
What about his judgment and decisions regarding Driftwood?
Object to the form.
I can't answer that.
Looking at what he's quoted as saying, and that is, what the residents were told was going to happen and what actually was done were different. You see that, obviously.
I see that.
Looking at that, does that jog your memory as to what the disconnect was between what was going to be done and what actually happened?
Object to the form.
I guess I would have to ask who told them, what did they tell them, this is a vague article. I don't have specifics here in front of me.
Now,
I wasn't present for the conversation, so I don't know.
but the types of conversations where the board would have been communicating with people in Driftwood would have occurred in public meetings in part, correct?
Mr. Brandon could have met with the people in Driftwood on his own.
But we've seen articles that indicate that the people in Driftwood had repeatedly come before the board and
Correct.
sought recourse and a remedy
Yes.
during the time period you were on the board, correct?
Yes, they have.
Right. And we saw and we will see that representations by the board as to what was going to be done were made.
Representations, we might direct staff to look into a matter or do something, but the only thing is we have to take a vote on something, and it has to be at least three members of the board to do something. A lot of times we'll say, hey, staff, will you look into that and get back to us? That's different than taking a motion and a vote.
All right, if you'll notice, this is an email dated June 12th,
Exhibit number, please.
Exhibit 594. You'll notice it's just a couple of days after the article that we just looked at.
Okay.
It's from a Mr. Don Hay. All right, you're one of the recipients. You see that?
Say that again, honey.
You're one of the recipients.
Okay,
You see that?
I see that. Spell my name right, that's good.
Now, do you know Mr. Hay?
I have, to my knowledge, no.
If you would read the highlighted sentence, please.
I have nothing to do with the Driftwood situation, but observing your handling of this issue, you were completely ineffective. You have all failed these people miserably. Okay?
Right. So you have one person who's outside the Driftwood situation who's expressed an opinion to you about the board's handling of it.
Okay.
You see that?
I do see that.
All right. Fair to say that was critical of the board.
Yes.
Now, do you think, for the 2 years that you had been on the board at this time, in 06 and 07, that the county had been effective at handling the Driftwood situation?
I don't know.
Do you recall receiving this email?
No, I do not.
All right. If you had noticed it when it came in, would you have taken any? Would it have been in your practice to take any action on it?
No.
Asking staff anything?
No, sir. Board of County Commissioners meets every 2 weeks. It's my opinion, I make some people happy and some people mad. It's every 2 weeks, so to recall who criticizes me, no, sir. I've gotten over that a long time ago.
6:20.
You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, about an hour into it.
Okay. Just let me know when it's lunchtime, and what you're gonna feed me is the main
All
question.
right. You told me you want to break about noon, Sean?
Whenever Commissioner Comander wants to.
About what time is it now?
11:24.
Okay.
35 more minutes.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna
good.
hand you
I'm good. My daughter's,
Exhibit
Yeah.
620.
okay. Signed 2007, July 7th.
You'll see it's a news article about a month later in July of 2007 from the Walton Sun.
All right.
All right. You'll notice the photograph, the caption underneath identifies that George Ralph Miller is addressing the board concerning the Driftwood hearing. You
That
see
would have been
that?
in 2007, okay.
Now,
It doesn't say if he was addressing it for or against.
all right. Now, if you'll look at the second page,
Okay.
and you can start at the bottom of the first column.
Where I stood?
It says, I
Okay.
stood here in
Okay.
2005 dealing
Okay.
with these identical issues, said attorney George Ralph Miller. My client is basically having his property rights taken. You see that?
Okay. I don't know who his client was, so.
Remember we looked at that Mr. Miller had been hired by Olson and Associates, developer of the interior Driftwood.
Okay, so that was still his client.
You're representing that was his client during this quote?
You would have known at the time when you were on the board who he represented, correct?
In 2007, probably.
All right.
But the question is, if she doesn't recall, is that what you're
Yeah.
representing?
All right. I will tell you
Yeah.
that he did
did,
represent
okay. That's what I
Olson and
needed to know.
Associates,
Okay.
all right, for a number of years concerning the Driftwood issue.
Okay.
And this article pertains in reference to George Ralph Miller's client as Olson, is what you're representing?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, got you now.
Okay, if you'll turn back to the first page, please. All right. Did you subscribe to the Walton Sun while you've been a board member?
Subscribe? No, I think it's a free publication.
Now, if you look at the highlighted paragraph
Okay.
on the first page, all right, it says Driftwood Estates, which sits at the northern portion of 4 Mile Point, has had water drainage problems for years. Residents of the subdivision presented a formal complaint to the county in 2005 that highlighted concerns due to the neighborhood's one entrance and exit. You see
Okay.
that?
Yes.
All right. Now, you're familiar with the issue concerning the neighborhood's single entry and exit,
Yes.
correct? All right. What do you know about that?
I know since the beginning of this project, to the best of my knowledge, there has only been one entrance and exit into that area. And that's Mac Bayou.
Right.
So anyone potentially buying a home there would know that there is one entrance in and out.
Right. Do you know that, well, have you spoken with Ms. Renee Bradley about the entry and exit issue concerning Driftwood?
I'm sure probably at some point early on. I haven't recently at all, no.
Right. And did she tell you, or do you otherwise know, that what is designated by law pursuant to county ordinance is that there is another entryway that's open, that should be open, in the southwest corner of Driftwood, connecting directly to Sandestin.
Check to the form.
This is all the information I have on that, if that's what you're asking me. At some point, and I believe it was in the 90s or early 2000s, the owners of Sandestin came before the board at that time and asked that they could put up a wall or whatever, and they did. I understand it's been through 2 lawsuits, and both 2 judges have said that they handled it the right way. That is all I know about that issue.
Okay, and your understanding is the issue and the subject matter of the litigation is what had occurred, whether that was lawful in 1988. Is that correct?
Well, as I said, I think 2 judges said it was.
All right, but you understood the issue was whether the propriety of the issue, the acts that occurred in 1988 was the issue.
Check to the form.
Is that what you understood?
I don't know. I don't know what you're asking me.
All right.
I've just told you everything I know.
All right. Then would it surprise you to know that the county has passed an ordinance in 2004 that was sought specifically by IntraWest as the Sandestin developer, well, 2000 and 2004, to open the road in the southwest corner of Driftwood connecting to Sandestin?
Check to the form.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
All right.
So it wouldn't surprise me because I didn't know it.
Now, so I guess it's never been communicated to you that Ms. Bradley has testified that that's the lawful status of the road
No.
that I've just described. Okay, if you look at the next op-ed, sorry. I hand you Exhibit 636.
Okay.
You'll see it's an op-ed from the summer of 2007. You see that?
I see it.
Okay. You'll see it also concerns the Driftwood issue. Give me this one.
What number is that?
Now we're going up to 3 million.
Nope.
It should be in there. I think I marked it already. The date of the op-ed is July 28, 2007. You see that, correct?
I see that.
All right. You read the entire op-ed.
No, but I will.
All right.
Take me a minute, okay?
You need not. It was just a question.
Oh.
All right. All right. If you look at the second column, highlighted area at the top, it says, if there was a mistake made and the road has been improperly closed, then fess up and fix it either by going through the proper procedure or finding an alternative solution. You see that?
I see that.
All right. And the title of the op-ed, if you would read that, please.
The ongoing saga of Driftwood Estates.
Then it says, continues on the second page.
It says opinion. Oh. We deserve an answer. Okay.
If you'll turn to the second page of the Exhibit 636. Okay. All right, you'll see the highlighted portion. If you would read the highlighted portion, please.
As far as we can tell, the homeowners at Driftwood are the only ones showing any courage in this matter. We think it is unconscionable that they are having to sue the county in order to get their concerns addressed.
Okay. Now, fair to say that this op-ed is critical of the board.
Yes.
All right. Now, if you look at the first paragraph of the article, it states, once again, Driftwood Estates resident Alan Osborne asked county commissioners to consider the plight of his neighborhood. You see that?
I see that.
And you were obviously on the board at that time.
Yes.
It says, armed with video that showed water running into the bay from a recent rain shower, he asked the commissioners to fix the drainage problem before a real storm causes irreparable damage to harms roads in the bay. You see that?
I see that.
Right. So, at this time, by this time period in 2007, if not before, Mr. Osborne's actions and comments to the board were causing negative publicity for the board. Correct. Is that correct?
To some extent, yes.
And is it fair to say that you would have been aware of the negative publicity and criticism of the board that was expressed in the newspapers at the time in 2007?
Object to the form.
I probably wasn't aware of this article. After all, I say it's a Walton Sun. But, you know, Mr. Osborne has made it known of his negative opinion of the board.
Okay, my hand you exhibit 637.
Okay.
You'll notice it's a news article that has the same date as the op-ed we just looked at,
What date is that?
July 28,
July
2007.
Yeah.
And the title of the article is Questions of Responsibility Highlight Driftwood Estates Moratorium Hearing. You see that?
I see that.
And you recall that there had been a series of discussions in front of the board, including the one that's reported here, as to who was responsible and who ought to be responsible for addressing the stormwater system in Driftwood.
There's a pending question not related, I think, to this article.
That's
Is that just
correct.
a general question?
It is.
Okay.
You need not focus on that. I don't want to distract you with it.
That's what I
Because I
thought was
wanted to
happening.
distract it.
Okay.
So you're going to ask me again, honey? Because I was concentrating on the article.
Give me these two.
And you recall there had been a series of discussions in front of the board, including one that's reported here as to who is responsible and who ought to be responsible addressing the stormwater system in Driftwood.
Yes, there had been many discussions in front of the board, yes.
Okay, and this news article reports that issue in a way that's critical of the board, correct?
Have you seen it before?
This article,
Yes.
when was it written? 2007? I might possibly have seen it in 2007, I don't know.
Okay, but the tenor of the article is that it's critical of the board. Is that fair?
Have you had a chance to read it?
I haven't had a chance to read it, but, okay. Will you give me a minute and I'll read the whole article?
Tell you what, we'll move on.
Okay.
Thank you. Let me find I'm going to hand you Exhibit 379, which are some board meeting minutes. You'll see. And if you'll turn, they're numbered at the bottom. And if you'll turn
In the
to pa-
pages? Okay.
You'll turn to page 3. You'll see that a date of July 24, 2007.
Okay.
You see that?
I
Now,
do.
We were just looking at 2 articles, an op-ed and a news article from July 28, 2007, that were reporting about the recent meeting. You saw that,
Yes.
right? And these minutes start in the same way those 2 articles did, referencing Mr. Osborne presentation of a video of
All right.
a rain event. You see that?
I see that.
Right. Then, if you look at the second paragraph, it states, Commissioner Brannon asked if the problem of standing water in the entrance road still existed. You see that?
Yes.
Right. And Mr. Osborne stated that it did still exist, and the access located at West Harbor View Road was submerged approximately 6 times in 2006. You see that,
Yes.
right? Do you remember that the issue of flooded access, of the singular access to Driftwood, has been come before the board for a number of years now?
Yes.
All right. What action has the county taken, to your knowledge, to seek to address the flooding that occurs that submerges that singular access?
I know that we have tried several, or at least I think on one occasion, I don't know how many because I don't work for Public Works, to try to get a grant from the state so that we can help, build up that entrance. I believe, to the best of my knowledge, I've been told that we have been turned down. I know we have done that. What else has been done specifically, I cannot answer the question.
All right, and then if you'll turn to the front of the document.
Oh, I didn't know I said that. I'm smarter than I thought.
Okay, you see that these are meeting minutes from August 14, 2007,
Yes.
in the regular meeting. All right. And the first paragraph identifies that George Ralph Miller, representing Olson Associates, stated that a moratorium will stop his client from building or selling the 200-plus lots in Driftwood Estates. You see that?
I see that.
Okay. Now, okay, if you'll turn over to the second page of the document, you'll look at the second bracketed item where it says Commissioner Brannon asked if the entrance road has ever become impassable. Right. Mr. Osborne stated it did. You see that?
I see that.
And then it goes on to say Commissioner Pridgeon asked how high the water got during the flooding. Mr. Osborne stated 18 inches. You see that?
Yes.
All right, so is it fair to say that the board, again, had information coming from the folks in Driftwood of the stormwater drainage problems and the access problems?
Check to the form.
We had information from Mr. Osborne, yes, sir.
All right. Were there other people from Driftwood who at various times spoke to the board concerning the same concerns regarding Driftwood?
I'm sure there have been.
Have you had meetings with other people from Driftwood who've expressed the same concerns as Mr. Osborne?
There again, cannot recall specifics. I know I've met with Doris Beam. Anytime Doris needs something, she either emails me, she's a resident out there, and you know, about the park or about whatever. I've been responsive to her. There's a lady by the name of Cindy Lynch I've been working with lately. She wanted, you know, the speed limit was too high, so I've been working with her to put up speed signs to help with the gnarly teenagers in the neighborhood driving too fast. So my question to you is anytime any constituent contacts me, I try to do the best I can to help them. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes I cannot. Because there again, if it takes a vote, I'm just one. I got to count to 3.
And I'm going to show you what has been marked as Exhibit 564. It's the only copy I have for the moment.
Okay.
Orient you to the document. You'll see it's in June 2007.
Okay.
Same time period that we are in this progression.
This was addressed to who? Okay, from one engineer to another, apparently. Okay.
Okay. Who is the recipient for the county?
It is addressed to Aaron Warren, Assistant County Engineer, and it's from Michael Bomar, Vice President of Tetra Tech.
All right. Now, do you recall that the county hired Tetra Tech to evaluate and prepare a design, as you can tell from the first paragraph of that letter?
I don't specifically recall it, but if it's in this letter, you know, no. Our meeting we previously discussed, so we probably, you know,
Do you?
we probably did. I do not specifically recall it, if that's your question.
Do you recall an order of magnitude of how much money the county paid Tetra Tech just to evaluate and prepare a preliminary
No,
design?
I do not. No, sir.
Would it surprise you to learn that it exceeded $150,000?
Check to the form.
Not knowing the scope of the work exactly, I wouldn't know whether that was a fair cost or not. I can't answer that.
Okay. All right, the letter gives us an idea of the scope. It says here, the level of service.
I'm sorry, give me a minute.
All right, now, of course, you see it concerns Driftwood Estates.
Yes.
Drainage improvements.
Yeah,
Right. And it's a summary of project opinions. You see that?
I do.
All right. And then it goes on to define or identify the scope of what Tetra Tech does.
Okay. Well, I'd have
Right.
to read the whole letter if you want me to make sure that, I'll take your word for
If
it.
you'll read the sentence, the first sentence that's highlighted.
The level of service for our scope included filling in all roadside ditches with an underground drainage piping system designed to convey a critical storm event to outfall points throughout the subdivision.
Okay. So, fair to say that one of their design was to put in the pipe drainage system that we saw in 2005 the Public Works Director had identified as what would be necessary to prevent standing water in yards.
So
You saw that.
I see this, yes.
Right. All right. I'm going to hand you Exhibit 623.
Okay. Oh, who's that? Okay. Oh, yeah, that's okay.
All right, you'll see that this is an article from August 18, 2007.
You want
what, 564?
Yeah, kind of.
This is 623.
Yeah, no,
I can't.
Joe's looking for the previous one. Sean, are you coming close to a good break, natural break in your questioning?
Yes.
Okay.
And if she wants.
Yeah.
Okay. We can stop after the next exhibit, and they'll move just as fast.
Okay.
Okay, as we've been doing. Okay. You'll notice that the article is from August 18, 2007.
Yes.
And that it concerns the meeting for which we looked at the minutes a moment ago, the August 14th meeting.
Okay.
You see that?
If you say so, yes, sir.
All right. Now, and again, the article concerns Driftwood alone in terms of, well, its subject matter, correct?
I haven't read the entire article, so I'm at this point going to say I agree with you. If you want me to take time to read it, I will.
Let's concentrate on what's highlighted, but
Okay.
the caption under the photo and the title of the article identify that it's concerning Driftwood, correct?
Yes.
Right. So fair to say up to this point and in 2007, there had been a significant amount of media coverage of the Driftwood issue.
Yes.
Right. If you'll look at the center column,
I'm looking at it.
the first paragraph states, right now the ditches surveyed in Driftwood sit at 0 to 12 inches in depth and often overflow during a normal rain event. You see that?
I do.
And that's describing the same type of condition that we saw that was described in 2005. Correct.
Yes.
Right, the next paragraph says the proposed drainage plan would be the first the county had given to combat the Driftwood issue. You see that?
I see it's written here, yes.
Right. Now, do you disagree or have any basis to disagree that statement is inaccurate in that, for example, you say, no, the county had taken some action prior to what we see here in 2007?
And I guess my question to you would be the definition of action. Apparently for quite some time, Driftwood has been on the table, so it has been looked at, discussed, meetings, people going out there. So, and unless you're talking about a vote, I think the county had been trying to deal with the residents.
Okay. Right, I understand they were dealing with them, but this identifies that this is the proposed drainage plan would be the first the county had given.
If this article is correct.
Right, and that corresponds to what we
yeah.
saw from the Tetra Tech letter you saw from the same time period, correct?
Check to the form.
I will not disagree with you.
All right. Then if you'll look at the right-hand column,
Okay.
and then it states, Commissioner Scott Brannon, the most vocal opponent of the moratorium, said that he could not see a safety issue in the neighborhood and called it unfair to impose a restriction on others who own property there. You see that?
I see that.
Right. Now, this article characterizes Commissioner Brannon as the most vocal opponent of the moratorium. You see that?
According to the article.
Now, do you think that's a fair characterization of Commissioner Brannon's views towards stopping construction and development in Driftwood?
Same.
That was in what, 2007? I have no idea whether he was the most vocal or not. Perhaps he could have been. I don't know. You know?
Okay, you obviously
know.
were there at the time.
I was there at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, then you'll see that the portion says he concluded he could not see a safety issue in the neighborhood. You see that?
I see that.
All right. Now, we looked at the minutes a moment ago, and Commissioner Brannon was identified as twice asking the question in 2 consecutive meetings as to whether the access flooded. You saw that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am?
Yes.
All
I'm
right.
sorry.
All right. So, is it fair to inference to say that Commissioner Brannon apparently didn't consider that flooded and cut access to be a life safety issue?
Check to the form.
If this is a quote from him, then I can't read his mind, but if he said it, then whatever he meant by it. You know.
Now, did you know in
Yeah.
2007, at the time that these issues are coming before the board, that Mr. Brannon had a business partner who had invested $7 million for the lots in the interior of Driftwood?
No, I did not.
Have you since come to learn that?
Check to the form.
I have heard it, yes.
Right. Have you done anything to investigate whether what you've heard is accurate or inaccurate?
No, I haven't.
Now, Commissioner Brannon has been off the board for a few years, correct?
4 years, yes.
So after he went off the board,
Soon to be 4 years.
you never had a conversation with him about whether or not he in fact had a business partner who owned $7 million worth of lots in the interior of Driftwood?
I cannot tell you the time period. I think he told the board once, but I can't be sure, that this alleged partner that he had was actually a partner of his father's, Freeport Industries, and well, you're asking me what I understand,
No.
and then I think his father was, a partner. I believe, and I'm not correct, because I've never seen their incorporation papers, but I think his dad, his brother, and he are all partners in Freeport Industries. But as I say, I haven't seen their incorporation papers, so I can't state that to a fact. That's only what I understand.
Okay. Now, you've attended events with Commissioner Brannon socially, correct?
Yes, I have.
Right. Where he's been your escort,
Yes.
right? And so it's fair to say that you're good friends with him,
Yes.
right? And
As
so how frequently do you see him these days?
I saw him at a party at Christmas. I haven't seen him since then. I don't see him that often. I'm a good friend with a friend of his, Gary Madison, and a lot of times when I see Gary, Scott will be there or come or whatever. So,
When you were sick last year,
Uh-huh.
did Mr. Brannon come visit you?
Yes, he did. When I was sick, yes. So did, I'm sure the people that sat outside my house and kept a record of that should be able to tell you.
Now, it says here in the center column, it quotes you. It says, "We've been dealing with this issue for a long time," said Commissioner Sara Comander. "We need to fish or cut bait."
Yes.
All right. Now, what did you mean by "we need to fish or cut bait"?
I can only speculate because that was 2007, but I would probably say I meant let's get this resolved one way or the other. I like to get things done and move on to something else.
Okay.
So that probably was, let's whatever happens here, let's get it done, let's move on,
Right.
was probably my statement.
So here we sit in 2016 for something that was gonna, your view was to fish or cut bait as of 2007, okay? In your view, what has actually been implemented? Has the county still fishing, or have they abandoned this issue?
Check to the form.
Well, we're now in the middle of a lawsuit, which puts us all, to me, kind of in a holding pattern.
Okay.
You know?
Do you know that Larry Jones and the county attorney, Mr. Davis, asked the folks in Driftwood to drop their lawsuits to give the county time to find a solution?
Check to the form.
Did you know that?
I have no personal knowledge, I don't think. I may, but I'll say no right off the top of my head. I may have been told that, I don't know.
Right. And one of the things that Mr. Larry Jones and Mr. Davis said to us was, if you do that and abate your lawsuits, we'll pursue seeking funding from a variety of sources that we can identify, including BP money. Did you know that?
Same.
I may have heard that.
From whom would you heard?
I don't know. Yeah.
Now, do you know what actions that either Mr. Jones or Mr. Davis has taken to pursue funding from any sources to address the Driftwood drainage issues?
No.
Do you know whether anyone at the county has sought any funding to address the Driftwood drainage issues?
As I said earlier, I know that they had tried to find funding to help with the road. And as I sit here and think, I do think I've heard discussion from somebody that we could use restore money to help the entire bay, not, with any problems there in the bay. That's part of what the Restore Act money is for. So if it's going to affect the entire bay, I would assume that Driftwood would be part of that, as well as on the Freeport side. I mean, I'm talking the entire bay.
All right, so in Public Works, well, recently, within the last month or so, the Restore Act, the first Restore Act project list came to the board for its initial consideration. You remember that?
Yes.
All right. Now, and did you look at that list in conjunction with
Yes.
that meeting?
Yes.
All right. And you saw that the county's Public Works Department had submitted a number of projects for improvements around the county. You saw that?
Yes.
All right. And did you see that some of those projects were to address stormwater issues around the county?
You just asked me that, and I said yes.
I mean, stormwater, you saw that.
Stormwater, yes.
Okay, and that there were other stormwater projects on that list from other communities, such as Freeport, on the list. You saw that.
Yes.
All right, do you have any reason or any information then as to how the county did not endeavor to take up an effort to get a Driftwoods project funded, or at least identified on the list for consideration?
Okay. First of all, I think we go back for the last 2 years where we have had flooding throughout South Walton. There have been neighborhoods that, actual houses were underwater, streets were underwater, because as long as I have lived here, I've never known of the rain that we have had. So Public Works was tasked to come back with a list of top priorities. I'm sure there are tons of them out there, but those that we can help, we can start, because the people are underwater. There's a difference between having water maybe in your yard or your ditch and having your house underwater. I believe, to the best of their ability, Public Works tried to go through every neighborhood, try to prioritize the ones that maybe need immediate help. And this list was given to the Restore Act Pot 1 committee. That committee is made up of a group of individuals from around the county, and they chose the projects. There were 42 projects submitted. They chose the top projects that they wanted the county to start with. We only get $5 million in this for Pot 1. You know, there are 5 pots of money. And the Pot 1 money comes directly to Walton County. Florida is different than the rest of the states. The rest of the states, it goes directly to the states. In the state of Florida, and Treasury set up these rules. It goes to the 23 counties, the coastal counties.
Okay.
So
Now, let me pause you there a second.
Okay.
You identified that the Public Works had created some prioritization for its projects. You remember that?
well, they had submitted a list of projects to the our Restore Committee, the County Restore Committee.
Right.
Of which there's not a commissioner on, that's just individual people.
Understood, but you understood the process from Public Works standpoint is that they, you said, went around the neighborhoods and tried to prioritize projects for the county. Is that fair to say?
Because of the extensive rains that we had the last 2 years,
Right.
yes.
Now, which projects did, I know we don't have a list in front of us, but which ones were a priority, best you can remember, for the county that sought to address stormwater, specifically for neighborhoods in which you know that homes have been flooded?
Those were the ones that they would have put at the top of the list.
What are
You know,
those neighborhood names, best you know?
If you wanted it, I'd have brought the list, you know. I don't, but you know, trying to take neighborhoods or areas of South Walton and help solve the drainage problems. And not only South Walton, because you know, Freeport as well. There are other areas of the county that also have flooding problems, but most of our flooding problems seem to be in the south end of the county, in Freeport and around there.
So, but why, do you have any information then, you know, in light of the commitment by, you know, Mr. Jones, who had some involvement with this project in the early years, as we talked about with his employment with Adams Homes, any idea why there wasn't some effort in light of that commitment and their effort to have it, or their request to have us drop lawsuits to give them time to pursue funding?
Check to the form.
You have any idea why it wasn't pursued?
I'm not sure I understand your question, but if you know, Public Works was tasked with this, not Mr. Jones.
No, I understand, but you recall that what I told you a moment ago is Mr. Jones and Mr. Davis, in a series of meetings a few years ago, asked the folks in Driftwood to stand down on lawsuits to give them time to pursue funding, which included seeking funding through the BP Restore Act funds. And you mentioned that you had heard that.
Yeah.
All right. Now,
Did you? Maybe it's because you didn't make any effort to stand down. I don't know.
but
I wasn't there.
Are you aware that we dismissed 2 lawsuits against the county in light of that representation?
Check to the form.
No,
Right.
I don't recall. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
To the best of my knowledge, no.
Do you? Did you know that as part of that discussion, Mr. Osborne said that he would not pursue any claims against you that he's pursued in this lawsuit if the county would just take some action to address the stormwater issues? Did you know that?
Object to the form.
Not to the best of my knowledge, no.
He was going to completely let that issue go, and we wouldn't be here today. Did you know that?
Object to the form.
To the best of my knowledge, no.
We had a good point. We've been going an hour and 40 minutes.
We are.
Okay.
We're going off the record at 12:09.